let us discuss example. First example is write AJAX program to carry out validation for a username entered in text box. So here you have to create a text box, and in the text box you have to enter username. If the text box is blank, in that case you have to print enter username. If the number of character is less than 3, in that case you have to print username is too short. If value entered in appropriate the print, that is if it is the yes, appropriate size, okay, length of that number of characters is appropriate, so in that case you have to print valid username. And if username is very long, so you have to print the message it is too long. So the different messages you have to print while entering the text into the text box. Now here important thing is you have to create a form, but in the form there is no submit button. So mostly what kind of form you create? In the form there is one text box, there are different components, and finally there is a submit button. So whenever you click on submit button, or you can say OK button, so then only you will get your data will get accepted. But here in this case, in case of AJAX, we are not designing any OK button or submit button. But as soon as you type the character into the text box, your code will be submitted, your text, your name will be submitted, and it will also give you the suggestion. So I will show you the code, but before that, one more thing is required, that is I have to start my server. So in my machine, I'm using Windows operating system, and I have installed WAMP server. Okay, so here you can see WAMP server started. Now we have to go to the program. In the C drive, there is a folder called WAMP64. This is the server space actually. This is the folder which belongs to the server. Inside WAMP64 there is a www folder, and whatever code, whatever program you want to run or you want to store into the server, so this folder you have to use. www folder is responsible, or you can say it belongs to the web server. So inside www there is one separate folder I have created, that is AJAX, and these are the example programs. So for this example, there are two files I have created. That is, one is HTML file, another is PHP file. Okay, validation.html and validation.php. So I will show you the code for validation.html first of all. Here I am using Notepad++. Okay, so I think this file is visible. So as we have discussed, this is the HTML file, and where to write JavaScript? In the HTML file, okay, which already you have executed so many JavaScript program. Where to write JavaScript program? Inside the script tag. This is the closing of script tag. Script tag is written inside the head tag, opening and closing of head tag. Below the head tag there is a body tag. So this is the HTML part. Body part is the HTML part, and this is JavaScript we have written. Inside JavaScript, two functions we have defined. One function is validate function. This is the first function from here to here. This is the second function. Name of second function we have given is state change. In validate function, we have created XML HTTP request object, which is important while writing the AJAX program. And the state change function will be called, and when it will be called, whenever onReady state change property checks for in every state change. So whenever some state change occurs, this state change function will be called. To open the request, here we call open function with the 3 parameters. First parameter is get method. Second parameter is the URL. This is the URL, complete URL. Why URL is like that? In the URL, you have to mention the file name. Here we have mentioned file name validation.php. That file must be stored in the same path. If this file is there in some another path, so the complete path here you have to give. But this file is there in the same path. In that case, just give the file name. Now, as we have discussed that with the help of URL, you can also send some data. So what you are sending through the URL, you are sending name along with this URL, with this request. With this request, you are sending name also. So this is the name and this is the value of the name. So this value will come. This is the JavaScript variable. This is not the variable. This name is just the string, but this is JavaScript variable name which contains name. So from where this name will come? This name will come as a parameter of validate function. From where we are calling validate function? From HTML we are calling validate function. Okay, here you can see this is the form. Inside the form there is one text box, input type equal to text, name is also given. Okay, name of the text box we have given, and there is one event called on key up. In on key up event we are calling validate function. What we are passing to the validate function? This dot value. This dot value belongs to the value which you have entered inside the text box. Okay, now I will show you this code into the browser. So first of all, you have to start the WAM server, which already we have started. Now open the browser, localhost. So this is the localhost. Now server having started. Now go to the, now you are inside www folder. You have to open AJAX folder name followed by file name is validation.html. So whenever you start validation.html, this text box is coming. So this part is executing. Now when this function will be called, whenever you type some key. For example, suppose you type a key called A. So here you can see whenever I type A, the message is coming, username is too short. I just start entering more character, B, C. Now if just as soon as I type 3 character, now username is valid. If I entered more character, again username is valid, but at some point it is saying that username is too long. So these are the messages displaying as soon as you are typing. So this is the data. This message username is too long or username is too short. This data is coming from the server. I will show you the server code also from where this data is coming. So from where this data is coming. So this is the PHP file because PHP runs on the server side. I will open PHP code. This is the PHP code. And here you can see these messages are there. Please enter any username. Okay, when this message will come, please enter any username. If you not entered anything, please enter any username. This message is there. Now what we are doing, we are just checking the length of the string. If it is less than 3, so this message will be displayed. If it is greater than 10, this message will be displayed. We are also comparing these things, that is valid or invalid. So for that purpose, here we have provided one regular expression. In the regular expression, these are the characters which are allowed. Other characters are not allowed. For example, if you entered character A, B, C, it is valid. D, it is valid. As soon as you provide dash, so it is coming that special characters are not allowed. So this comma, single quote, double quote, these are not allowed. Only letters, numbers are allowed, capital letters are allowed, but special characters are not allowed. So we are also checking for validation. So how to check validation? This is the regular expression you can prepare, and this is the function pr pg underscore match. This function will check whether this dollar name is matching with this pattern or not. Okay, if it is matching with this pattern, this it will return true, otherwise it will return false. Now the important thing is from where we are getting this string. So whatever string you entered inside the text box, from where you are getting this string into our PHP. So from here we are getting the string with the help of dollar underscore get in bracket name. So what about this name? This name is returned. We are referring this name from here, name equal to, and this is the value. So this value will be returned by dollar underscore get name. So whatever value means this one a b c d 9a equal to, this is the value which is returned by dollar underscore get, and you will get the value you can store into this variable. So this variable contains the value. Now after that, every time you type the character, whenever you type the character, suppose you type character small a, so this dot value is small a, name is small a, so this name will come here, small a, it will be sent to .php file. Now what is the use of this on a state change? What happens whenever you send this value there? Now the next step, to get response from this PHP in the form of these messages. For example, as soon as you type a, so dollar name is a, though this first condition is false, second condition is true. So dollar name is a, strlen is a is 1, 1 less than 3, condition is true, username is too short. This is the text message will be written by PHP to this JavaScript. So you will get, now every time the state change, that means every time you type character, your request will be sent and you will get response. The request response cycle is continuously there, but whenever you type any character, you are getting response. So you are getting response whenever this condition is true, okay, and you are getting response into this property XML HTTP dot response text. So the message, this message is coming, username is too short, this message will be stored into this variable, okay, XML HTTP dot response text. This property hold that message, and that message will be put into the element where ID is res. So where ID is res, here you can see ID res is written here. ID res is there in the element called div. Fine. So into this element, this HTML will be written. This HTML means inner HTML property is there. So you are just changing HTML. Inner HTML property used to modify the HTML. So which part will be modified? Where res is written. So where ID is res, so that particular part will be modified, and that particular part will be replaced by the value held by response text. So in place of this div, the message username is too short will be printed. So every time whenever the request response is completed, you will get response from PHP. That response will hold first of all into this property, followed by it will be assigned to the HTML document. Which part? Into the part where ID is res. So in this part the ID is res. So at that part will be written username is too short. So whatever messages you are which is coming from PHP, that will be displayed into this part. So as soon as you start typing so many character, 1 character, 2 character, 3 character, every time this validate function will be called, because we are calling this function on up. This is how we write AJAX program. So here we are following the steps. First step is to create object. So here we have created the object. Second step is to set the ready state change property. So here we have written statement here below the open function. It is not necessary that every time you have to write the call this property before open. You can put it this statement anywhere. So here first we have written this statement, open function we are calling, then we are setting this property and sending the request. Now let us discuss another program. Next program is write AJAX program to get book details from XML files when users select book name. So here you have to write an HTML first of all. So in that HTML you have to design a drop down list. So from drop down list, whenever you select any book name, as soon as you select, okay, you are not actually clicking the any button, you are just selecting the book name from the list. As soon as you clicked, the book details will be displayed into the web page, into the browser. So from where this book details is coming, this book details will come from XML file. So already you have to create the XML document. Inside the XML document, you have to store all the book details. So I will show you the program. So this is the program where there are 3 files actually. First file is this is PHP file, and this one index.html is the file. This is the first file. Second file is getbook.php. Third file is bookstore.xml. Here you can see this is the XML document. Okay, bookstore, which this is the XML file. So there are 3 files. This is HTML file .html. This is .php file, and this is .xml file. So first of all, let us discuss about the XML document. In this XML document, whenever you want to write any XML document, the first line is compulsorily you have to write less than question mark XML version 1.0 encoding, and this is nothing but the encoding, character encoding, which you are using in your web page. Now this first line is called as version line, which is important, which is compulsory for each and every XML document. If the XML document does not contain version line, it will not considered as an XML document. So only this first attribute is important. Encoding is optional. Okay, version is important. Below this line, you can start with the element like this: bookstore, opening a bookstore element, closing of a bookstore element. So there is single root element has to be there. There must not be any more than one root. Only one root element has to be there. So bookstore is the root element. Below, inside the root element, there are many child. So these are the book elements. How many books we have stored? Information we have stored. First book, 1, 2, 3, 4 book information we have stored. Inside book tag, the data, JAX, author 1, 2000, 250. These are the data which we have stored into the XML document. As we have discussed that XML document is used to store and transfer data. So in this XML document, we have stored data. So how to store data? For that purpose, we have to provide the tag name by your own, like title tag, author, year, and price. This tag you have provided as per your choice. But each and every tag has to their opening tag and closing tag. Okay, tag names are case sensitive, and these are the many books information we have stored. Now, from where we are getting this data from XML using PHP. So this is in the PHP. This is looks very complicated, but actually we have just used different built-in methods to get the data from this XML. So this is the PHP program to read XML document. Okay, actually we are reading the XML document. In PHP, there are different methods to read XML document. So here we are using one of the method called DOM document method. There are other methods are simple XML method, and there are some event parser methods are also there. But we are using DOM document method. So DOM document constructor we are calling to create this object. So this object having many properties and method which is used to read XML document. So first of all, you need to load XML document which is already prepared. So this XML document is already prepared, which we are loading with the help of load method. So now this object $XML doc belongs to this XML document. So once this object have been associated with the XML document, you can apply many properties and method. For example, here we are applying the method called get element by tag name. So the using tag name title, here you can see there is one tag called title. With the help of this title, we are just getting the data. Okay, so with the help of this title name, we are getting data that will be stored into this variable X. Okay. So X holds name of the book like AJAX, Java 2, HTML5. This book name will be held by data X, variable X. Now you want to fetch the remaining node, that is you want to fetch author, you want to fetch year, price. This data you want to fetch, okay, with the help of this name. So for that purpose, here we have applying for loop. Inside that we are getting some child nodes, some other nodes with the help of this value $x arrow item I. Value of I starts with 0 up to length minus 1 means total number of title. Total number of titles are 4. Okay. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 number of times this loop will be executed. And we are getting their child nodes, okay, as well as node value. We are getting node value. Now, first of all, we are comparing if node value is equal to $q. What is $q? $q is this variable. Value of $q we are getting from HTML. Whenever $get comes means we are getting value of $q from HTML. Which value we are getting from HTML? Here you can see this is the HTML. These values we are getting. AJAX, Java 2, HTML5. So already in HTML we have written the title. Same title which we are using in XML document. So whenever you select from drop down, with the help of select and option tag, we create drop down. I will show you the drop down list first of all. Index.html. So here you can see this is the drop down list. Okay, so this is the drop down list. So from drop down list you have to select any book name. Fine. So suppose you selected Java 2. So what is the value will be written? Java 2 value will be written. Where this value will be written? The value will be written in this variable. This dot value. This dot value means these values which you have mentioned. These values will be passed to this function send title. where this function is there, function is written here. str contains java2, this value java2. Suppose you selected java2, so str is java2. Now you are inside the Ajax engine, and this is the URL getbook. This is the complete URL where you are passing q. Q is the name of parameter. The same name here you are written, this one q. Okay, and the str means java2 will be passed through the URL to this file getbook.php. So now here you get java2. So java2 will be compared with node value. Each and every node value will compare. Okay, so node value means which node value? 0. 0 means first value. Title is at 0's node value. So AJAX java2 it will be compare. So where it will be match? At this line it will be match. So if it is equal to q means it is equal to java2. So their parent node will get the parent node. Okay. So parent node variable we have created $y, and from $y we are getting their child nodes. So in child nodes we have stored the child node is stored here in this variable. The child node object we have created, which is $book. Again we started next for loop to get the different node items. So the book belongs to the child nodes. Child node items, node name will be displayed, followed by colon, followed by child node, and their node value will be displayed. So if it is matched with java2, so these things will be displayed. Author will be displayed, year will be displayed, and price will be displayed. So these things will be displayed for each and every node. Okay, for each and everything, for each and every node. This is first node. For first iteration is for first data, that is for java2. Second for author, third for year, fourth for price, so on. So total 4 number of times this loop will be executed. So similarly, whichever book name you have selected, so their information, their book details will be displayed. So I will run this program. So this is the code, index.html we are written. Where is index.html? This is index.html. This is the drop down list. Now we select java2. So here you can see title, author, year, price. This information is coming from XML document. If you select HTML5 information will be coming from XML. If you selected PHP, it is coming like that. So this is the way AJAX works. AJAX, just we are getting data from XML document. So here in AJAX, here you can see we are just sending data. Each and every codes are same. Only just you have to change the URL. That's all. The remaining things are same. Okay, name of function, everything is same. Here also we are displaying data in that particular ID. Okay, in this particular ID we are displaying the data. Okay, we are getting data with the help of this property, and the remaining codes are same. Creating object is also same. Just only the PHP file name we have changed, and the PHP file is in the connection with XML. In PHP file we are just getting data from XML, and here wherever the echo is written, okay, this will be echo means this data will be displayed. This data will be displayed in the browser. So whenever this PHP is called, it will be displayed in the browser. Displayed in the browser means it displayed in the browser at this particular place. Okay, and in this particular place the data will come from server through this property, response text property. So this is the second program we have discussed. Now the next program is database. Fine. So this is another program. First of all, you have to create a table. The name of table is student, which holds roll number, name, and percentage. You have to write a AJAX program to student name and print student details. Write a AJAX program to accept student name, also to select student name and print student details. So for that purpose, there are two files, get student and HTML is db.html and get student.php. So db.html, the HTML is same. Here again you can see the code is same. We have just created one drop down list and these are the name of a student, and here we are calling function on change, means whenever you select any name, this value will be passed to which file, this file get student.php. Here we are passing value to this file. This is get student.php. In get student.php we are getting $q from HTML, and from $q the value of $q we have provided into this query, SQL query, select star from student where roll number is this. So actually here we have written the roll number. These values are nothing but the roll number which is already stored into the database table. Now I will show you the table. So here we are using PostgreSQL. I will open PostgreSQL first of all. First of all, I will open the terminal. So this is the PostgreSQL terminal. So there is one table which is already created. Select star from student. So in the table there are three columns: roll number, name and percentage. This is the roll number 1 and these are the roll number for all the students, and the same roll number we have given, we have provided to the HTML file also. Okay, if you don't know what is the roll number while writing the HTML, so what you can do here, again you have to start PHP, and from PHP select query you have to fetch all the roll number first of all from database, and those roll number here you can provide. Okay, same roll number you can provide from the which is read from the database. So while running db.html, again the drop down list will come. So whenever you select any username, like if you select Mehul, so this data to roll number percentage will come from table. Okay, whichever user you select, their percentage and roll number will come from the database table. So how this program will work? The program will work the same way. Okay, for example, suppose you select Mehul, 2 will be passed to this function. The ID is 2 now. The ID will be sent to getStudent.php. This is getStudent.php. So here we are getting ID, which is coming from HTML, or you can say from AJAX engine. $q is 2. First of all, we establish the connection. Then select star from student where roll number is 2. So this query will be executed here. Now here you have created table, and from table you are fetching rows, each rows, but here only a single row will be selected because here we have given condition roll number is 2. So only one row will be fetched, and there all the three data will be displayed with the help of $row1, $row0, 1 and 2. So the code is very simple. The working of AJAX is similar. We have already discussed in XML example. Here you can see the code is also same. Only the difference is instead of XML, here you are using database. So while fetching data from database, you can write PHP code. First, you can establish the connection. Then after that, you can get the data from database table. Fine. Let us move to the next program. Write a PHP script using AJAX concept to give hint to user when she type name in the text box. So for that purpose, there is a file called gethint.html and gethint.php. So in HTML, the function is same. Okay. Here also we are sending request to this file gethint.php. We are also passing this particular parameter, okay, from HTML. So this is the HTML here we have written. So on key up, so whenever you type any character, so that character will be sent to this particular file gethint.php. In gethint.php, already some names here we have written into the array. So we are just getting data from array. So this is the way you create array and you add more element to array in PHP. So from request or from get, here also you can use get. You just getting the data, getting the character from the AJAX engine, and with the help of this method, okay, with the help of for each loop, you are just comparing whether it is matching with the character or not. First of all, you compare with the first character. You get the first character. Then if first character is matched, you get that will be added with the hint. Now you compare with the second character, so on. So if it is match, so the message will be displayed. That is, that particular name will be displayed. If it is not match, the character is not matched with this names which is already stored, so no suggestion will be displayed. So I will show you the program. Gethint.html. So as soon as you start typing, for example, you start typing A, you can see these suggestions are there. You type some more character. There is one more program. That program you just checking the validation. You are just checking whether user is there or not in the database. Check user program is there. Check user.html and check user.php. So in check user.html, we are just giving the name of user into the text box. As soon as you type username, so the username will be sent to the check user.php file. In check user.php file, and you are just checking whether that user is available into this particular table user1. That table is already you have created. So that table I will show you. User1. So these are the user created with user ID and password. Then you just want to check whether that user is available or not. And if user is available, so the count star here we are using. So means it returns this when this query will be executed. It returns the 2-dimension array. So that's why here you have to call one more function, pg_fetch_row. It returns the 1-dimension array, and whenever you apply subscript 0, so it returns the value. So the count will return either 0 or 1. If it is 1, so the user is available. If it is 0, then user is not available. So the value of the character one by one, each character will come here, and the PHP code will run for each and every character. So check user.html first of all will run. So username, as soon as you type A, which is not available, the name which is available into the table is Rohit. As soon as you type R is not available, but OHI T is available, so it is showing available. Type name like Sandeep, it is not available. It is available.